Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Brianna. I'm the owner and maker behind my brand Bloom, where I specialize in polymer clay jewelry, DIY kits, and apparel. This vlog is mainly going to be me doing a bunch of holiday prep. I'm kind of playing catch up because I recently just went back home to celebrate my sister's baby shower. So I'm back now and I have a lot of things to do. I got a lot of orders while I was gone for the DIY kits, which is super fun because that's a new product and I'm glad to see that it's doing well and that people are probably ordering it for holiday gifts. I think I have around like 10 or 11 orders to fulfill, which is kind of wild because I honestly don't get that many online orders. I mainly do a lot of in-person markets and that's where I make the majority of my sales. But obviously with the holidays, my online sales definitely go up during like November and December. We're also doing friendsgiving, my boyfriend and I, here at our home with some of our closer friends, and so we're gonna set up the table nicely, decorate, cook a few dishes, and then it's gonna be potluck style so people will bring some stuff too. And then the following day I have my last workshop of the year. It's gonna be a holiday polymer clay earrings workshop at one of my favorite retail stores in DC. And then wrapping up the week on Friday, I have fun plans to go visit the downtown DC holiday market because I've mentioned before that I'm going to be one of the makers for the DC Makers Guild booth, which is going to be a booth of 20 of us who are a part of this organization. And so 5 of my earring styles will be there among tons of other locally made goods. So I want to go check out our booth and then just support some other local makers that I know. So it's a fun balance of a lot of work, but also a lot of fun times with friends and outings. So let's just get to it. All of the orders were packed up and dropped off at the post office. I'm still kind of in disbelief at how many there were. I'm really excited because I feel like most of these are Christmas gifts, and so just imagining on Christmas Day like all of these kids underneath the tree and people opening them up and being excited about a new craft is just so fulfilling for me. And it's really nice to know that like this new product launch has actually done really well and might be a huge part of my business going forward. And now shifting gears, it's time to prep for Friendsgiving. So I have a couple things that I'm gonna make. For dessert, I'm making pumpkin pie, so I'm gonna do that first so I can set. And then for the main courses, I'm making mac and cheese, corn souffle, and mashed potatoes. I think we have about 9 people coming. So in total, 11 of us, which is quite a lot, but everyone is bringing a dish. And so I know there's gonna be tons of food to go around and probably a lot of leftovers, which is nice. Today I have a workshop in the evening. It's actually my last workshop of the year, so it's making me reflect on everything that's happened in this past year. I actually just started teaching workshops the fall of the previous year, so in 2024. And since then, it's actually been so much fun and a huge part of like my income streams too. So if you haven't gotten into workshops and your craft is like easy to teach beginners and you're interested in helping others learn, I definitely recommend because I've been hosting them about once a month and I do a lot of different like seasonal ones. So even though it's the same like craft each time, making polymer clay earrings, people get to have a different spin on it. So I've even had people come back to take another class like a Valentine's class and then a fall class or like a spring class. So today's is holiday Christmas themed, obviously, because I've been making a ton of those designs and it's the end of November right now, so I wanted people to have a chance to actually get to wear their creations or even like gift something handmade to a loved one for the holidays. So I need to go ahead and pack up for that. I have all the same like basic supplies generally, but I need to switch out some things to make sure I have the right color clay for the class and like the different cutters that people use. Also, a moment for the Snoopy shirt because I embroidered this at the library, which I think I've done so many times and talked about in a lot of previous videos. But this one I wanted to be like holiday themed, and I love to like dress up for whatever workshops or markets that I'm at. So this is very on theme for tonight. And I even have a matching little Snoopy mug too that my mom gave me. While I pack up, I figured I would show you what I include in my trusty little suitcase that holds all of my supplies pretty much aside from my toaster oven. So the first thing is I have these tiles here that people use to just like cut out their clay and have a working surface. So that's the base that they work with. And then I also have these pliers that I pack for the assembly portion of the workshop. I have a bunch of like paintbrushes and tools to work with to apply like pastels or make indents on the clay. And here I also have the rollers to actually roll out the clay on that tile. And then the pasta machine that people use to roll out the flat sheets of clay in case they don't want to use the roller and do it manually. And then of course, all the clay and all the different colors that I have in these little organizers. I'm all packed up now. The suitcase is ready to go. I have the toaster oven. I remember I used to be pretty nervous about making sure I had everything because I didn't want people to show up and be disappointed that I forgot something that was so basic, because there's so many little things that go into hosting a workshop. But now I have like a whole checklist that I make sure to run through, and it's pretty much just muscle memory at this point, like what needs to go in that suitcase that I take. One thing I wanted to mention as a little tip is to have some type of instruction manual or sheet for attendees to look at when they're taking the workshop. So I have two different versions of these. I have the designing tips when people are making the earrings. I have stuff like how to add details, adding shading, and then making sure to make that jump ring hole for the assembly portion. And then I have an assembly instructions sheet also, because this one can get a little tricky where people are choosing the right jump rings according to like the backing that they want and how to attach that to the earring. So having step-by-step instructions for things that people struggle with has been a game changer for sure, because sometimes people are just like a little shy to ask follow-up questions, or they're more of a visual learner and they need to like see the photos and see it written out rather than me just like talking to the group. This is also a really big time saver for me because sometimes workshops can get pretty chaotic, especially if I'm teaching like close to 25 people, which is the largest workshop that I've ever taught. There's a lot of moving parts, like me trying to make sure that everyone's on track to finish in time, giving people like special hands-on assistance. And so if there's like simple little questions that can be answered with these sheets, that really helps me just get to the more important parts of running the workshop. I think these sheets just help everyone involved. I think it makes me seem a little more experienced and like I've really thought about this whole experience for people and trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone. It also helps the attendees if like they're having trouble flagging me down because I'm helping someone else. It keeps everything running smoothly. And if they want to, they can like take a photo of it and reference it later if they try the craft at home. So that's it for the preparation for the workshop. I'm gonna just assemble some earrings in the hour I have left before I have to head out, and then I'll see you there. Happy Friday! The workshop last night was super fun and really nice to kind of close out the year on that aspect of my business and kind of focus more on the earring making. It feels good to like check one thing off the list, you know, and kind of reflect on all I've done with that new income stream. Everyone made really cute earrings, and the shop that I taught at had this new like section of their store for the craft classes, so it was really nice to enter this new space and kind of have that new flow and more space to work with. So I'm excited to continue teaching there next year, probably starting with like a Valentine's class in February and then spring and all of that stuff later on. But for today, it's gonna be pretty chill, honestly, just a ton of earring making to prep for the holidays. And then in the evening, I'm gonna go to the downtown DC holiday market with my boyfriend to check out all of the local booths and some of my vendor friends, and of course, a booth that will have my products in it.